Good afternoon, everybody. It's John from Veganism KILLS. Today I'm going to do a little lesson to teach some of the people whose frontal lobe is not oxalated yet. To the vegans out there that say there's no proof that or they have proof of studies that red meat kills people and all this kind of nonsense and gets diseases. We're going to go over some of the oldest people in the world in existence. You see this woman? Excuse me, a little dust there. Jean Clement. She lived to be 122. She smoked, she drank, she played with guns, she ate excessive amounts of sugar and red meat. Never ate breakfast save for 2 cups or 2 of coffee. Vegans promising you're going to live a long life. This is one of the oldest women in the world. Wasn't vegan. This is the current oldest living woman in the world. She's 118 out of Japan. Kane Tanaka. Her favorite dish is beef stew. She's 118. Not vegan. Here's 10 of the oldest living men in the world. This guy is actually a farmer and a writer. You know, he farmed, right? He raised some chickens and he ate their eggs. He ate the chicken. Not vegan. Drank the cow's milk. Not vegan. Here's Phil Sharp. He's a trapper and a cattle herder. Definitely not vegan. 111 years old. It's Albano Andrade. 100 still kicking at 111 years. Wouldn't know the word vegan if you told it to him in 20 different languages. Manuel Buenavente Sanhueza. Not vegan. U.S. Army veteran, so you know he wasn't vegan, because back when he was in the Army, they didn't have no vegan food. Not vegan. Lawrence Brooks. Gee, I don't see any prominent vegans on here. What is this? Now this guy, Marcel Mace, he's a candidate to be a vegan because he's a paramedic. But guess what? He's not vegan. The guy lived through both world wars. Juan Vicente Perez Mora, Venezuela, still kicking, still alive at 111. And I know if you come from Venezuela, you're not vegan. Jules Leobard, Martinique, France. Fisherman. Not vegan. Fuente Castro, Spain. There is an old man, Saturnino de la Fuente. Not vegan. Modesto Lopez Batista, a farm worker. Not vegan. Can you explain that to me, vegans? How come these people didn't get a disease like HIV and die? How come there's no vegans living to this age? How come the oldest living people in the world, they're not vegan? Now let me show you a typical plant-based bullshit study that's going to have you laughing your ass off. I like how they do these studies. You're going to laugh at this one. I was looking for the risk of that proves that there's a difference in risk of heart disease from eating meat and being vegan. And this study is a typical vegan bias study that you could see by just reading two fucking sentences. Well, it's laughable. Journal of the American Heart Association. Now they claim there's a plant-based diets are associated, not proven to be a cause and effect for low risk of incidence of cardiovascular disease. They just associated with it. I don't want you to see how they associated it. Look at this. All they did, they just gave, if you eat meat, they gave you a low score. You read this right here. And if you have plant-based, they gave you a higher score. No correlating data showing that it actually prevented heart disease. They just gave you a fucking higher index score. Just to fucking, because they're vegan. What do you think? They crack me up. Read this, methods and results. Well, we're just going to give you, if you eat more plant-based foods, we're just going to put you on the index for the risk of lower heart disease with no accompanying data. Like, did you have a heart attack when you were eating meat? Did you suffer a stroke? No, none of that. None of that. This is the conclusion. Of course, when you adjust the data to whatever you like, it's fucking ridiculous. Any 10-year-old could tell you this is biased. We just gave you a higher overall index compared to a meat eater for no fucking reason at all. Look, a higher healthy plant diet index was associated. No accompanying data to even back it up. They just associated, so naturally they'll give you a higher index score. Without taking any blood tests, without asking any medical history, nothing. That's how epidemiology works. Now watch this one. Methods, right? Now, look at this. We used the data from a community-based cohort of middle-aged men and women 45 to 64 ages at baseline, right? The best part, they never asked any of these people if they were vegan. They just naturally assumed that if you had a heart problem, you obviously ate meat. That's the best part. And you can read it because they actually put it in the study. At baselines and visit 3 participants. Three were assessed by trained interviewers using a modified version of the 66-item semi-quantitative Willard Food Frequency Questionnaire. A questionnaire. Participants indicated the frequency which they consumed food and beverages of defined serving size in the previous year. So these people come back a year later and they ask you, what did you eat for the whole year? And the best part of it, they only interview people who ate meat, right? And they didn't bother to even see if they had any vegans participating in the study. And they used data from the study, which more was appropriate to follow the side they were leaning towards. Or did not assess whether participants were following a plant-based diet. We used established plant-based diet scores. Who established those scores? Where did they come from? How did you make them up? No, nothing. We're just going to say, well, we have some data from vegans whom we really don't, there is no absolute study out there for this. And we're gonna take all the people that were in here eating meat, and if they had any kind of cardiovascular disease, we're just gonna turn around and say, out of the source that we took the data from, that the vegans did better when there was no vegans even fucking included in the panel. They used an old report. Do you get it? What I'm saying, people? They sourced data from people who ate meat. Asked them what they ate for 365 days. Only 3 people. Then when they were using comparative data, they didn't have no vegans in the study. They just used an old study. And they based everything on an index that says if you eat plant foods, you get a higher, better index rating than the meat eater automatically with no fucking lab data. It's right here. You read this. You go, where's the data? Oh, we just interviewed a whole bunch of people, asked what they ate for a year, and we didn't bother to include vegans. We used a special vegan index that was made up years ago. God knows where they sourced it from. They don't even provide the source. And we have this imaginary index that as soon as you say you're vegan, you're going to get a little gold star on your fucking report card. This is what happens when you start putting political ideology into fucking epidemiology studies. That's what's happening here with this study. So you can read it right here. Well, you know, we just looked at the study. We only had we're supposed to have 2 lots of people, but we didn't bother to go bring any vegans in and check them how they were doing. We just went and took many meetings as we could find 3, and we criticized them for everything. And the vegans that weren't participating in the study, we just gave them freaking gold stars on all their health. And we never checked their health. We never questioned them. How do they feel after they eat and what they ate? And how has their health been over the long term? They didn't bother. And they keep saying it. You can see there's a bias. Healthy plant-based diet. No, you put plant-based diet because there's no fucking proof that it is healthy. Unless, of course, you have a bias. Then you add the word in healthy to promote your bias. You say a plant-based diet versus a red meat diet. You have two groups of people about the same age and same sex in balance, and you compare their health over a number of years. That's how you do the study. You take blood serum. You look at their risk of heart, and it has to be done over the long term and a large group. And when it's done like that, the cardiovascular risk they assess is like not even 1%. It's like 0.001. It's ridiculous. Out of umpteen thousand people. Look, at baseline and visit 3 participants. 3. You know what you could do with this study? Wipe your ass with it. These are the studies that vegans run around touting are so well done by these smart people. Meanwhile, these people are diehard vegans who keep, and then you see that they keep putting in healthful plant-based diets. No, you just say, if you're unbiased, you say plant-based diet and a red meat diet, and we assess that both groups, this one had a higher risk of heart disease and this one didn't. No, they don't do that. They don't do that. And the best part, they don't even compare the vegan group, which they obviously support, to the meat eaters. They left them totally out and just criticize the meat eaters as being less healthy than the vegans based on their predetermined index card, which says eating red meat is bad on all the cards. And there you go. But then to top it off, that's not enough. Blue Horizon, the future of food. This is where Dr. Greger works. Support of regulations like CO2 taxes and reallocation of subsidies lead to substitution of non-addressable conventional animal products. So they're going to try and get regulations like CO2 taxes and reallocation of subsidies to push meat prices higher so you can't afford it. So you have to buy the slop that they wouldn't feed a pig. And here goes all the vegan companies these guys are invested in, supporting new protein. Fact, plant-based protein is less quality than meat-based protein. That's a fucking fact. You see? That's all it is. All vegan corporations that they're invested in. Incubators. You see this when they say incubators? These are the companies they invested in, and they want you to buy the food, the vegan kibble, and they keep telling you it's healthy for you. And they got people working for them. Let me show you who works for them. Figure this out. If you still haven't calcified your frontal lobe, look who's on here. The fake doctor who was told by Rumtel Shamuk not to wear his lab coat from that hospital because he never worked there. He did a small part of his internship. He didn't complete it, and he left. But yet he still wears the lab coat like he worked there, and they complained about it. This guy's a fucking fraud. Do you understand now, people, what's going on here? I pieced it all together. If anybody wants to know the whole story, you can ask me. We'll go through it slow. I know I rush. That's just the way I am. So you can see that, the oldest people in the world, none of them are vegan. It's all bullshit. This is a vegan bullshit study where they don't actually include vegans versus red meat eaters. They don't even include them. And then they give you a automatically higher score based on somebody they never seen before. That person's healthier than you. Well, where is he? Is he still alive? No, we just used some data from a previous study, and we made a fake index on it. So we actually didn't have to do any real science. And you can see over here, Earthling Ed is also a partner in this business. Here goes the executive producer of Game Changers right there. It's all a scam. Here goes the investments. All they want to do, look at this. Look at how many companies they got. Buy the vegan kibble. Buy it so I can become rich. I'll even show you the people that are going to get rich off of this. Him and him. These two guys. Well, this guy is changed, okay? I missed that before. This guy is changed and this guy is changed. These are two. You see these guys that say partner, 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 partner and legal counsel? Okay, you see these partners, member of the board. Okay, you gotta look at them. It's the secretary. They put her up there. Well, I don't know why you would do that. Here, venture partner. He's actually put capital in there. You see these people? They're betting on fooling you that veganism is healthy and it's going to save the world. So you'll buy the products that they seeded. You see, this is the new ones, and they're in the incubator. In other words, they spoon-fed some cash to these guys. And then Dr. Greger will come out and tell you the plant-based diet is great. He's on the payroll. He's right there. And Earthling Ed. They'll make videos. They'll tell you you're doing the right thing. They'll tell you the vegan diet is the healthy way to live. You'll live a long life. And that of the 10 living oldest men on earth, none of them are vegan. The oldest woman that ever existed, 122, was never vegan. The oldest living woman currently is not vegan. She's supposed to have cancer and be dead by now, vegans. She's supposed to have HIV from eating red meat. Isn't that the story that Ed and Dr. Greger concocted? You don't have to believe me. Believe your own eyes. Do your own research. And this is what happens when you guys go to these seminars, which are designed to make you feel good about yourself if you agree with the friggin' presenter. Well, you don't want to get cancer. You don't want your kids to be sickly and the world explode from carbon emissions. Meanwhile, how do you make fake meat? How do they manufacture all this stuff they invested in? Right? All of this stuff they invested in, all these companies have to have goods shipped in on trucks, right? Shipped in on trucks. Transportation is the largest polluter, not agriculture. These guys are going to have that factory that uses a cracker to get the soy protein that you love so much in your fake meat. A cracker, you know what is? That's something they use from petroleum processing to create gas. That makes pollution. That releases all kinds of gases, greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. So you guys got fooled. These guys are pulling a fucking stunt on you. And if you can't understand, well, what do you want me to say? You should have went to school. Where I went to school, you couldn't go. I started out at Kidder Peabody. I was Ralph D'Annunzio's assistant. Most of you people don't even know who he is. Or you don't even know who John Child is. Or Lee Broad. None of yous do. None of yous. Look, Beyond Meat. You see it right there? Eat it. Zero meat. Fake meat. And now, there's also something. You're going to love this one. This guy right here, Roget Leinhardt, went to Seattle to this company and told them their job was to make that vegan kibble cheaper. And let me tell you, when they use the word cheaper, you're not going to get the highest quality that you think you're getting. They're going to start taking shortcuts. And every time you do something with this fake stuff and you take shortcuts, a lot of people end up dead. And that's it for today. I hope it gets through. And, they can turn around and ask me all the questions they want. Their counsel could talk to me. I'm not going to stop because they know. I could tell them, why do you have somebody on your staff that's obviously spreading falsehoods? And his credentials, which he says he's professor of infectious disease, and he has no credentials for it. Matter of fact, he preaches veganism as preventive medicine. He has no license to practice preventive medicine. He's a doctor in health and nutrition who hasn't treated any patients. I have yet to see one testimonial from somebody who said that he treated or looked at or helped. I haven't seen one. He hasn't done a residency. He hasn't done an internship. Matter of fact, they can't even find his doctor license from Tufts University in Massachusetts. And Earthling Ed uses a fake name, Ed Winters. And this company uses his fake name. No, his name's Edward Gaunt. Why are you using a fake name for him? And on that note, I'm out of here. That's the reason I don't like this, because it's full of fucking fake people. Fake people. Learn the difference between real and fake people. If you don't know what goes on the farm, don't let somebody go and find a few incidences and tells you that's what it's done in every friggin' dairy or fucking slaughterhouse. Alright? That's like saying you see somebody outside doing a crime, so everybody outside's a criminal. It's stupid. It's narrow-viewed manipulation to get you to buy their fucking crappy products that have no protein in them. No usable human protein. Plant proteins for herbivores. We're not herbivores. And on that note, I'm out.